guys, what's up? It's Hex here, and today on Redstone Basics, we are going to be taking a look at the torch, the Redstone Torch. Here we go. I gotta tell you, when I first found the Redstone Torch in the menu, I thought it was for lighting. I was like, oh, that's cool. It's kind of like a not so bright regular torch. What's this thing for? But yeah. So the Redstone Torch is actually a redstone component, and it has an output. It can light up some redstone. So let's take a look at it. A Redstone Torch can be placed on top of any opaque solid block, or even like a half slab on top, a top half slab. And it can be placed like that. It can also be placed on the side of a solid block like this. On the side. So that's kind of cool. We'll talk about that in a minute. Redstone torches can have an output that goes in all four directions away from the torch, which is kind of cool if you place it like that. Torches that are placed underneath a block will strong power the block above. So if you take a look up here, you'll notice that this block is being strong powered right now because all of this redstone is lit up. So that's a really nice advantage of the Redstone Torch, and we're going to take a look at why that's such an advantage in a minute. Okay, the Redstone Torch can power things to its side. So notice that it will power this piston, it's powering this redstone here, but it's not powering this block right here because it can only power redstone items to its side. It cannot power a block, so it's only strong power above it like that. So if I was to place a block on here and redstone on it now, oops, doesn't really demonstrate it very well. Now it will power that, and then if I can relink it, then it'll power the lamp on the other side there. Okay, cool. As you can see, it will do the same thing if you place it on the side of a block like this. But it will not power this, it will not power that, but it will power the redstone, and it will power any item next to it like this. So that's kind of interesting. What's this about? Oh, yeah, it can also strong power if it is placed on the side of a block like this. So if it's placed on the side, this red block is being strong powered, so not only will it power the piston from the block and the lamp from the block, but it will also power more redstone. Okay. Weaker strong powering the block the torch is on turns it off. So watch this. When I flick this lever, the torch is actually going to turn off like that. Okay. And what that does is it makes the torch into a reverser. That's my word, reverser. I don't think that's a word. But a reverser, meaning that if it's on, if it's being powered, then it's off. If it's not unpowered, then it's on. So we'll take a look at that, and that's kind of cool. You could also do it this way, where if you're strong powering the block, the torch also turns off that way. Or if you're powering it this way, and the torch, you're powering the block that the torch is like stuck on, and the torch is on the side of the block like that, then it will turn off. And you could see all three of them this way. So either side, top, doesn't matter. If it's on, if the torch is like attached to that block, if the stem of the torch is attached to the block and the block is powered, then the torch will turn off rather than be on. That's kind of cool. Okay. This right here is interesting. This is a torch burnout loop. So I'm going to just create a redstone update. And what's going to happen is if I take this off, this is kind of an interesting, well, let's take a look. What the heck was that? Let me do it again. Okay, so what's happening here is that, remember, a torch will strong power a block that's above it. So it's strong powering this block, which then powers this redstone. But this redstone is on this block, so this block is actually being powered, which turns off the torch. But then the torch turns back on because, well, you know, the redstone will then turn on because this block was being strong powered, which will then power this, which then turns the torch off, which then powers this. You get the idea. It turns into a loop, and what happens is after a few times of doing that, the game will basically make it so that both the redstone and the torch itself will burn out with that little sizzle symbol, with that sizzle sound. I don't know if you can hear the sizzle sound. Yeah, you can hear it there. Okay, so that's called a torch burnout loop, and there's actually clocks that are made using that whole idea of torch burnout, which is kind of interesting. Okay. Redstone torches take 1 tick or 2 game ticks to change state. So right here I have a redstone torch, and then that's powering this block, which is turning this torch off, turning this one on, turning this one off, turning that one on. And you'll see that when I flick this lever, everything's going to change state, but it's going to do so in a delayed fashion. So the one at the very end will change state last. See that? That. Okay. So it does have a bit of a delay when you do that. The block underneath the redstone torch must be powered for at least 1.5 redstone, that's what RS means, ticks, to change state. So if I do this right here, if I flick this lever, the observer will put out a 1 tick pulse, and it will not be enough to turn the torch off. Watch this. See, when you can see it fire, but the torch doesn't change state because it wasn't long enough. Ah! All right. What's it good for? Well, redstone torches are good for inverting a signal. Here's a door that I built recently where it has just a couple of pistons and a little bit of redstone. So if I press this button, what's going to happen is these pistons will push this over and close the door. But we want the door to be closed, and then when we press the button, the thing to be open. So we want backwards of what we have. So if you put a redstone torch on that instead, when you push the button, the door will open rather than that. So inverting a signal is one super useful use for a redstone torch. Okay, other uses for redstone torches are torch towers. So here I have a tower in which the bottom block is being unpowered, but I can power it. And then because this torch is powered, when it turns unpowered, this one will turn on, turning that one off, and so on and so forth, and have the reverse effect on the lamp at the top. Watch this. And it's on. And it's getting dark for some reason. Maybe it's raining. Maybe it's turning night. I don't know. Anyway, it's a good time to be turning on lamps. So turning this off like that. Okay, so that's how you can make redstone travel vertically really easily. There's another way to do it, which is sometimes useful. You can create a torch tower like this, where it actually uses double the amount of torches, but doing it this way will also allow these blocks to be powered, which is useful in like item elevators and stuff. So if I turn this, what's going to happen is all of these torches are going to turn off, but these are all going to turn on, and then the lamp will turn on. So watch this. Of course, it takes a little time for that to happen, so you have to think about that just a little bit. Another thing that you can do with redstone torches is have a redstone torch tower going downwards, and I use this quite a bit, especially for some of the doors that I've been doing recently, and even just my drawbridge that I was kind of my most recent redstone thing, used a redstone torch tower going down. And the way this works is if I unpower this block right here, or if I power this block, sorry, with this lever, then this torch will turn off, turning off this redstone. And if this redstone is off, then that allows this block to be unpowered, which allows this torch to turn on, and then it has the opposite effect on the next one below it, and so on and so forth, until you get down to the bottom where I have a piece of redstone next to a lamp, and that will turn the lamp on, like that. Okay, so that's another way that you can make a redstone signal go downwards, but using these redstone torches. Okay, that's a few things about redstone torches. There's a lot more you can do with them, but I'm going to save that for other videos about logic gates and some of the others. Some of the other stuff that we're going to be working on in the future. But for now, that's all I've got about redstone torches. I hope that this video was helpful in explaining a couple things about the torch. If you liked it, go ahead and leave a like. Don't forget to do that. That's super helpful for me. And if you really liked it, maybe you think about subscribing. But more importantly, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and God bless.